It's time to bolt up. The Chargers. The Chargers have signed running back Najee Harris, Alabama boy, Pittsburgh Steeler, first round pick, Jim Harbaugh. He's doing push-ups right now. He's so pumped up. He's got Najee Harris to run the rock. 6'1", 242, one of the biggest backs in football. He can do it all. Run in between the tackles, pass block, pass catch. Najee Harris is a dog. And he's only 27 years old, despite having 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. If you want 1,000 yards, you sign Najee Harris to the Los Angeles Chargers. That's what you do. And on top of that, you've got a guy in Greg Roman who's seen him up close and personal as a member of the Baltimore Ravens. This is a Baltimore Raven-esque running back, a Pittsburgh Steeler running back. This is a Greg Roman running back. This is Najee Harris, okay? 1,200 yards as a rookie. Pro Bowler, 7 touchdowns, 1,034 yards, 7 touchdowns as a sophomore, 1,035 yards, 8 touchdowns in 2023, 1,043 yards, 6 touchdowns in 2024, 1,000. Now his yards per attempt has been up and down, 3.9, 3.8, 4.1, 4.0. Nothing too special there in yards per attempt. Not very efficient, not very electric, but he is a tough to tackle back, and he is good at everything, right? This is a guy that as a rookie caught 74 passes. As a rookie, 74, okay? 467 yards. He caught 41 in his sophomore campaign, 36 this past season. Didn't have any receiving touchdowns the last 2 years. He led the NFL in touches as a rookie with 381. 381, okay? Now, those touches have gone down thanks to Jaylen Warren, but actually his yards per target went up this year. His yards per touch went to an all-time high this year at 4.4. So his usage has gone a little bit down, but his yards per touch has remained successful in his career. So he's definitely not shown any sort of dip in his game. If anything, he's shown an ability to actually be a little bit more explosive, a little bit better, in my opinion. Just from watching him, not even really statistically. Okay, so you look at broken tackles according to Pro Football Reference. His best ever in a season is 30 in his rookie campaign, 30 in 2023. His yards after contact average, 2.1 was his best in 2022. So those are some things to note. But 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, that's what he does. That's what he'll do for the Chargers. And he's also a healthy guy, okay? He has never missed a game in his NFL career. 17 starts, 17 games, okay? Something to note there. That is a very big deal. The best ability is availability, right? So you've got that as well. Now, let's throw into the fact that Najee Harris, what's his grading? I don't think PFF probably loves Najee Harris, but let's see what they have to think about him. So 16th in the NFL last year. I'm actually shocked by that. 16th in the NFL was his grading. That was far better than J.K. Dobbins, who was graded as the 44th best running back. Both played about the same amount of snaps. Dobbins, 568. Najee, 587. Now, Najee had a 77.5 running grade, which was pretty good. That was 16th. His receiving grade was 32nd, which was average for running backs. In his career, he's had the 30th grade as a rookie, 27th as a sophomore season, 2023, 21st, and 16th in 2024. So actually, his grading has gotten better with every single season he has played. Okay, that's interesting. He's in his prime. He's proven to stay healthy. He's proven to be able to carry the load. All valuable assets to any backfield. He can pass block. He can pass catch. He can run the ball. He's good between the tackles. The thing that he misses is an explosive speed. He doesn't break away from defenses, right? He doesn't create explosive runs. He's a guy that he'll make 2 people miss, and then the guys will catch back up to him and tackle him. That's the type of running back he is. He has some of the most fun runs you'll ever see because he stiff arms a guy, jukes a guy, hurdles a guy, runs for like 7 yards in the most creative fashion and most aggressive fashion you'll ever see. But it's not like he's going to run for 70 yards like Saquon and put the peace sign up like Tyreek Hill. That's not going to be his game. But pretty good in short yardage, tough to tackle, tough to handle in open space on quick dump offs, can be effective in that regard as well. And he can definitely have the size and the physicality to stand up in pass blocking situations and take on a linebacker because he's got excellent size. So Najee's a good back, good all-around back. He secures a really solid floor for the Chargers rushing attack. And I would argue that he provides a lot more consistency to the Chargers rushing attack because he'll be there every game. He'll be able to carry the ball 20 times a game. In fact, he might actually carry the ball more for the Chargers than he did for the Steelers because the Chargers don't have a Jaylen Warren. Now, maybe perhaps they bring back J.K. Dobbins and they see J.K. Dobbins as more of a change of pace to Najee Harris. That could be interesting. Now, the second player that the Chargers signed is a cornerback named Dante Jackson, also a Pittsburgh Steeler. They must have been impressed by the Pittsburgh Steelers when they played them this year. A 2-year, $13 million contract, cheap for a guy who had a ton of interceptions last year. Now, Dante Jackson has never really had a consistent NFL season. So that's why he only had a $13 million 2-year contract, okay? But he had 5 picks this year, all right? 5 picks, 15 games started as the CB2 of the Steelers, 8 passes defensed, 38 tackles, which was actually like the second least of his career, which could be a good thing for a corner, to be fair. I'll also say, right, he had 4 picks as a rookie in Carolina in 2018. He's had 3 picks multiple times, 2 picks, 2 other multiple times. So he puts up interceptions pretty regularly, and he gets his hands on the football fairly regularly as well. So he's able to be a little bit of a ball hawk. He's got excellent speed. That's one of the assets of his game is speed. And this past year, he allowed a 69 passer rating in his coverage. He's also had some seasons where he's been really good, like 2020, he allowed a 78 passer rating, 2021 an 86, 2022 a 90. He's had only 2 seasons above 100. So he kind of is what he is based on the numbers, like opportunistic, little bit of a ball hawk, better in zone than man. Very fast though. The Chargers play a ton of zone. They play a lot of too high, which the Steelers tend to play as well, although the Steelers do play more man than the Chargers, I would say. And he's a little bit hit and miss, but he's good when he's playing well. He's good when he's playing well. And honestly, like his numbers are better than I would have thought just looking at them. I feel like his reputation has been lesser than his stats. I would say that for sure. Because I've seen far more inconsistent players based on just the Pro Football Reference coverage stats. I would say that for sure. Now looking at his PFF stuff, he had a terrible grade, a 45 coverage grade. That's really bad. Just looking at, again, I don't know what you really trust here. Do you trust the stats or you trust the grades? So a 45 is 8th worst in the NFL. That's terrible. Okay. Now, part of that could be ad-libbing. Part of that could be that Jackson is dicey. He's a guy that tries to bait quarterbacks, and he's not always in the right position. And when he gives up plays, they're big plays, right? This year, he allowed 4 touchdowns, but he did have 5 interceptions, so it kind of like evened things out. He did allow 13.4 yards per reception, which is a pretty high number. He also allowed 500 yards into his coverage, which is not terrible for a guy that played 531 snaps, but it's not good, right? That's the 42nd most yards in the NFL. He only had 7 play stops. He's also not a great tackler. He had a missed percentage of 24.4, which was 6th worst in the NFL. So poor tackling, inconsistent, kind of speaks to his game. Coverage, goes for the picks, big play guy, better in zone, better at reading the quarterback, fast. But his coverage stats overall, rating-wise, completion percentage-wise, not as bad as you would think. If he can maybe just hone his game in, become a little bit more conservative, and the coaching can grasp him, he's a decent CB2 or depth cornerback for a team. So that's Dante Jackson. He is 29 years old, turning 30 November the 8th. Feels older than I would have thought. 5'10", kind of a skinnier guy, 180 pounds, but doesn't even really look it. He kind of looks skinnier than that, in my opinion. He's got really skinny arms. He's probably not much of a press player, more of an off coverage guy, despite his speed, which is unfortunate. So, interesting player. I could see him starting for the defense, but I'd also love him if he was a depth player. So, pick your poison there. But those are Chargers. You got 2 Steelers. Congratulations.